Welcome back, beautiful souls, to another episode of Empower Huddle, the show that's all about embracing self-care, empowering you to live your best life through personal and professional development. I'm your co-host, Nika, and we also have my wonderful, beautiful, transformational life coach, co-host,
Darnell Rivera.
The
magical unicorn.
Yes. And folks, today we delve into a topic that touches all of us at some point. It's almost inevitable to escape it. Right. And that is hurt. Sorry to get so dark with you guys. But whether it's emotional pain, physical injury, a psychological trauma, navigating through hurt, you guys, can be one of life's greatest challenges.
Most definitely.
But fear not, because today we embark on a journey to healing. Yay!
The fun part of life.
Yes.
Healing.
Yes, absolutely. How you doing, girl?
I'm doing good, girl.
You sound like Wendy Williams.
I know.
How you doing?
How you doing?
Did you have a good week, a good month? How's the month going for you?
I did. Work is a little heavy right now. HR, employee relations stuff, but life stuff is good.
I don't know how you do HR. Lord have mercy. I'll be wanting to choke people out.
Yeah, you can't do that.
And you can't do that when you're in HR. That's why I'm not in HR and you are.
But
that's cool.
But life is good.
Nice.
Everything's going well. Nothing to really, no challenging things. Knock on.
Yes.
But how are you?
I'm good, actually. I'm in a good space.
Yeah.
Doing good. I have a lot on my plate.
As always.
Per usual.
Yeah.
But
this girl, I don't know.
Yeah, I got a lot on my plate. But you know what? God is good.
Yes,
and
all the time.
But I'm learning, even though I can juggle a lot, doesn't mean I should and doesn't mean I have to. Like, I have to learn how to delegate.
Yeah.
Delegating.
Delegate and also know when to pull back and slow down.
Absolutely. That is definitely a part of self-care too.
Yeah.
But hurt and acknowledging hurt. You're going to hear us talk about that throughout this segment today. We're going to talk a lot about acknowledging hurt. Actually, the topic of today's title is acknowledging the hurt. And you'll hear us again talk about that throughout the show today. But hurt, it can be the sting of betrayal, the ache of loss, or the scars of past trauma.
Yeah.
Whatever it's, guys, hurt has a way of seeping into every aspect of our lives, clouding our thoughts and weighing heavy on our hearts.
Yes.
But it's important to remember that hurt is not the end of our story, guys. It's really not. It's merely just a chapter in the greater narrative of our lives. So we're going to break down the types of real hurts that people experience in life. And I know that I've experienced each one of these hurts myself. Oh, yeah. But as a quick disclaimer, you guys, we're not licensed therapists or professionals. We didn't go to school for any of this. This is really just our opinion, tips, and tools that we love to share with you all. So let's dive in.
Let's do it.
Let's talk about the different types of hurts and how they come in many different forms. So we have like childhood trauma or childhood hurt, relationship hurt. We also have loss and grief and physical and mental hurt. Yeah. And today we're actually going to go over and break down the different types of childhood traumas and hurts and relationship hurts. And we're going to split this and save the last two for another show.
Because there's so much information.
There's so much information. Yes. And there's so much information. Yeah. And we can talk about this for hours.
Right.
But we're going to try and narrow this down for you guys to give you some tips and some tools to empower you for the week and just to keep you on that steady and straight and narrow path to healing. Because we love you.
Yes.
We love you so much.
Yeah, we want you out there to do better for yourself.
Yes.
Absolutely. Take care of yourselves.
So, as a reminder also about hurt, as you're going through your journey, you guys, remember that healing isn't a linear process, right? It's not like, oh my God, I'm healed and I'm good. No, the work is done. I don't need to continue on with my journey. No, it's not linear. It is definitely a journey. And so whatever comes in that journey, accept it, embrace it, acknowledge it, and keep going. That's the important thing.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's a journey that's filled, like I said, with twists and turns, peaks and valleys. There's going to be days where the hurt feels like it's overwhelming and the wounds just are opening up or reopening, and that's okay. Tears start to fall freely and you can't control it, but it's okay. Just get back into your journey, acknowledge that pain, acknowledge those fears, and get right back into it. Because healing is really not about erasing the past. It's not about erasing what happened. It's more about learning to live with it and to integrate our pain into the fabric of really who we are.
Absolutely.
So we're gonna jump into it. Nina, talk to us a little bit about childhood hurt and what you think about that.
Yeah. So childhood trauma can leave, of course, we know, deep scars that often persist into adulthood, whether it's abuse, neglect, or witnessing a traumatic event. The impact can be definitely profound and long-lasting. I remember memories of my childhood as an adult where I never thought about for 40 years, and then all of a sudden they start coming back to me. And then I remember those difficult moments. But healing truly is possible, like Nika was saying. It begins with understanding and having compassion for yourself, but also really acknowledging the trauma that you've experienced, acknowledging the traumatic events that you've seen, acknowledging the pain and suffering that you've been through. Sometimes confronting those painful memories is super hard and emotional, but once you acknowledge that, something really begins to open up for you where it actually cracks that little space that can lead you into healing. You want to definitely seek support and therapy. I think I shared about a friend who she didn't like one-on-one therapy, but she goes to group therapy for emotional support. Just find out what works for you. And then you want to really develop those coping strategies. And we've talked about it, mindful meditation, self-care practices, and things like that.
I feel like I feel like when something from your past, from childhood comes up, sometimes it really doesn't even appear until something drastic happens in your life. Yeah. And then you're like, oh shoot. Yeah. No wonder I do this because when I was young, I had to either endure this or, I had to be, this is what I saw, this is what I learned, this is this is what I was around. Right.
And we call that strong suits. People in life develop strong suits. They're ways of being based on the stuff that they've been through. So if you've been a child who experienced a home life where you knew you couldn't depend on your parents to be there and support you emotionally, you may have grown up to be extremely independent and not able to trust or not able to maybe trust that someone is going to come through for you. So what have you kind of developed the shell? Well, I'm not going to depend on anybody. I'm going to go ahead and do life myself. You know what I'm saying?
Especially women.
We
hold that. Yeah. I don't even know where that comes from. Other than maybe just like long time ago. But
no, I think it comes from how you're raised and how you're developed. If you can't depend on the people around you to support you emotionally, physically, mentally, and spiritually, then you have to develop those ways of being for yourself. Yeah. So in your mind, I can rely on me.
Right. Yeah,
so
that's true.
Maybe that's a little glimpse
into that. And learning how to break that then too, or change your perspective on that.
One of the assignments that I have when I coach people, and I got this from my mentor, Mark Johnson. He's not only my life coach, but he's also my business coach. He does this things where I can't remember the title of it, but it's where you walk down the memory of your life, and you get three. What are those cards called? 3x5 cards. Those flashcards, or those type of things. Index cards. And you get those, and for each year of your life, like I was born in 1964. No judgment. But on the card, I'll put 1964. Well, there's no memory there, so I put no memory. But where my memory begins is at 3 years old. I've actually done the practice practice.
Oh my God.
And I literally write down my first memory. And then as you transition, let's say I have 60 cards that represent the 60 years that I've lived, you look through and then you can literally see where your trauma has happened.
Oh, wow.
And
That's kind of scary.
Yeah, it is, because I remember doing that exercise and he wanted it in 90 days.
Wow,
It
yeah.
took me months.
Yeah, I
because
was gonna say, that's
you're
kinda long.
Yeah, you're literally
Sounds like.
looking at, and then you want to put them down and then you don't want to touch them for a minute because it brings back these particular memories. But
It's vital.
But if you have the courage to really look at that childhood trauma for yourself and see where your strong suits have come from, see why you can't rely on other people, something begins to open
That's
up.
freedom.
And yeah, and then you can't help but put things out there. God, I want help. I need help in my mental health, and it not come back to you.
Oh, yeah.
You know, either
yeah.
somebody's going to show up, the preacher at church is going to preach something, a book's going to land in your lap,
Right.
and it's all going to lead you to that healing that you need in your life.
Freedom from bondage.
Absolutely.
Nice.
But just to
So you were talking about
go ahead, I'm sorry.
you were talking about the different tips and tools of what we can do.
Yes, sorry, I know I digress.
No, that's okay.
Yeah, so also developing coping strategies, which I was talking about earlier, mindfulness, meditation, self-care practices. I would also encourage self-help books. There's so many self-help podcasts out there, YouTube channels. Remember that having grace and compassion for yourself is
That's huge.
super, super crucial in healing any form of childhood trauma. And just to note, many survivors struggle with feelings of shame, guilt, and self-blame, which can further exacerbate their suffering. Self-compassion individuals can learn to treat themselves with kindness and understanding, recognizing that they are not to blame for what happened to them. It is not your fault.
Right.
If you have suffered childhood trauma, remember that. It is not your fault.
Absolutely not. That was good.
Thank you.
Yes. We're going to dive into relationship hurt.
Yeah.
Oh, which you probably have more experience.
Thank you.
I'm sorry.
You've been devastated in relationships, Nina. Share with us.
You know, that's why you're on the show.
Hey, let me ask you this.
bring
Which
your
one? You want the 1990?
Oh, no. Who out there hurting my Nina? That's why you're on the show.
Thank you.
To bring your
bring my
experience
wisdom.
and your wisdom, because you just don't know how many people you help out there.
Oh, thank you.
But I do want to share some. I've been hurting my little 37 years of life too. At some point, I've gotten over it. Shoot, forget them fools. No,
Forget them all.
but it's not just relationship with like a spouse or a partner or nothing. It's also a friend, family members. You know, when we talk about just relationships, anybody that you have a relationship with, it could be a friend, it could be your family member. It's really hard when you get your heart broken from a relationship.
It's devastating. Yeah.
And, you know, exactly. But, you know, relationship hurts, it could manifest in various ways. So it can come in the form of betrayal. It can come in rejection, abandonment, or even just growing apart with someone. Regardless of where it came from, it's still pretty shattering.
Yeah.
And the pain is real, and it can really leave deep emotional scars. So the first step, though, in healing from relationship hurt is, again, acknowledging your emotions.
Yes.
And you don't have to stay there. So I'm hoping that these next couple of tools can help you guys. If anyone out there is suffering from relationship hurt, I hope that some of these can help you. So, you know, whatever the pain is, you know, it's real. Acknowledging it is the first step. So again, you're going to hear that from us a lot, acknowledging it. It's okay to feel hurt. It's okay to feel angry, and it's okay to be sad. You know, don't dismiss those feelings.
No.
Just, you know, accept it, that's how you're feeling at that time. Allow yourself the experience allow yourself to experience these emotions without judging yourself, without feeling like, you know, you've done something wrong, or just getting that judgment inside your mind.
Yeah, that guilt and shame that we put on ourselves is terrible.
It's not going to help through your healing. So suppressing them will only prolong the healing process, believe it or not.
Right.
So it's important to also, like Nina said,
Darnell.
I know that sounded weird coming out.
Yeah. It sounded weird landing for me.
Yes. I don't even know why I said that,
okay.
but it's Nina, okay? To y'all too. No. But practicing self-compassion, that's huge, you guys. In every type of hurt.
It's so hard for us to do
It
that,
is.
too.
And it's sad because it's like we should love us like we love other people. Like we love our best friend, like we love our family member that we're trying to hurt or trying to get out of hurt.
Could you imagine it if we did? If we did? I mean, think about that. How your life would be, how your mindset would be if you loved, like if I loved myself the way I love you.
Yes. Aww. You would be so loved.
I would.
I mean, I love you, but you would.
But think about that.
You would be
that
like,
makes me want to cry.
I know.
But I'm just,
because I know you love me a lot. So
I love her a lot.
You better love yourself, girl.
I
know you do.
I'm gonna go take myself to the spa.
But yeah, definitely treating yourself with kindness, with understanding, just as you would your best friend.
Yes.
And remember that healing takes time, and it's okay to take things one day at a time. But let's explore some practical strategies for navigating through relationship hurt. So it's pretty much the same as any type of other hurt. Seek help, seek support. If not just, help, but just seek support. So I feel like even if you change those words around, seek help and seek support, it just gives it a different vibe. Because help, people are like, I don't want to get help. They just think of that as such a negative connotation. But
because it amplifies a weakness.
Right.
Yeah.
I just I don't know. I just thought about that. But support is definitely something that we should allow ourselves to have. Yes. Seeking support, surrounding yourself with supportive people, supportive family members, anyone who can offer comfort and guidance.
Right.
Keep yourself around those people.
Definitely.
Don't hesitate to reach out even to a professional if you need it. If you need to get some counseling, if you need to get therapy, make sure that you do that as well.
Yeah, for sure.
Also, setting boundaries. Don't go around the people who continue to hurt you. Don't be around the people that, don't go back. Yes, don't go back to the vomit, Don't just get yourself out of that situation. Set yourself some boundaries because it's going to help you in the long run. And boundaries, again, we've said it before, they're not for other people, they're for you. So protect that beautiful heart.
Yes.
And so, yes, don't go around things that trigger you. Don't go around the toxicity. Keep it peaceful for yourself.
Yeah, don't sabotage yourself in that. Knowing that if there's a certain group of people that you go around and you don't feel your best, stay away from them.
Stay away.
Yeah,
stay away.
Sure.
So, Nina, tell us, though, some things that just in general for any type of hurt, anything that you can think of.
Yeah. So you definitely want to practice forgiveness. And I want to read this to you because this is really powerful. And I hope it lands for you and you hold it. Forgiveness doesn't mean condoning the other person's behavior. It means releasing the anger and resentment that's weighing you down. Remember, forgiveness is a gift you give yourself.
Yes.
And it is one of the hardest things to do, because when you forgive somebody, you have to let go, and we have created stories in our life in relationship to what we've gone through. So if that person over there is super, super horrible, they did X, Y, and Z to me, I'm never going to forgive them. That person over there is not suffering.
Right.
You're suffering.
Yeah.
So whatever it takes for you to look at that, so you can cause a shift in your spirit and mind to forgive and to release that pain, it literally does you good. There's a book that I read, I can't remember the title of it, but it talked about how we harbor forgiveness in our being, and it causes dis-ease, which, as we know, is disease. It causes suffering. It causes sorrow. It causes pain. And, there's a teacher, her name, I can't remember her name, but she believes that when you harbor suffering or sorrow, it literally begins to break down the physical parts in your body where cancer develops.
Oh, wow.
Because it's stored up emotion.
Yeah.
And so that's why I think that, and this is just my own perspective, I don't have any scientific proof but I think people that harbor unforgiveness are sick.
Oh yeah, and
are
the
sick.
tension that you
The
carry
tension
too
that they
in your
carry.
body.
I have seen, and I've known this to be true. I have seen people who have developed this way of being beautiful, and they come back to a place to where the suffering and pain and hurt was there for them, and then they have shifted their whole life, and they're on 15 different medications, and just all this stuff that we go through. So really, really look at that for yourself. If you're someone that suffers in your body, you may want to look at what are you harboring emotionally.
Yes.
What unforgiveness are you holding on, and then really focus on the self-care of that. What steps do I need to take to release this emotion?
Right.
There's times in my life where I will go and I will get massages. Those are a great way to release that energy in your body. And there has not been one massage I've ever had in my life that I've not wept. Because there's something begins to happen in my body where I begin to release these emotions that I'm harboring in.
Oh, wow.
So it's a self-care practice.
That's definitely a mental thing too, because when I go to get massages, I'll be in there snoring, farting.
But
I'm asleep.
But you're releasing something.
I'm releasing something, but it ain't no No, it's a lot of tension.
But think about what you...
I promise when I go get massages, that's what happens.
But I want you to hear about what you said. Well, and I'm going to get a little deep with what you just said jokingly, but however, you sleep.
I do.
So here's something that your body rests.
Yes.
Right? That massage is causing you
That's why
rest.
I go so much.
That massage is causing you a little bit of peace in that moment.
Yes.
Now, the release of the toxics that are coming out of your... That might mean you just need some probiotics.
And every time I text my husband, I'm like, when I tell you that I woke myself up at the end by a snore. I was like, oh my. I said, oh, I'm sorry, Mainling.
That's funny, Mainling. That's funny. That's funny. But yeah, I do have those experiences and I warn the people. I did recently have a sports massage. That was a little different.
Oh, that's
I didn't
that's
cry,
hard.
but there was a lot of because there are things that in my muscles and knots that need it. But just those little self-care things that you can do, try to find ways to relax. I took a yoga class one time and all it was just stretching. But just the
stretching is amazing.
Yeah, but moving those muscles like that and releasing those things that are stored up is just so beneficial for you. So make sure that you engage in activities that bring you joy and relaxation. Whether it is exercise, meditation, music helps.
It's so big.
Art.
Music.
I love to sit at the table sometimes when my roommate, her grandbabies come over and we color. Yeah. Just that little relaxation in that and spending time in nature. I also do a grounding routine, especially when I'm sick and not feeling well. But those little things of self-care really, really take care of yourself.
Really.
But most important is learn to forgive. Find that resource that can help you and walk you through that.
Yeah, this doesn't have yes, so true. This doesn't have too much to do with the forgiveness part, but I had put out a poll on Instagram through my stories, and I asked, my followers, what do you do when you realize that your mental health meter is low? And I put a couple of
I've seen that.
A couple of answers there, and do you party hard? Do you go indulge in self-care? Do you read inspirational books, or do you do all the above? And most people said they do all the above. And so I took the results. I shared the results. Some people were like, no, I strictly just read inspiration. And others were like, I indulge in self-care. But my thing was, what I did, I wanted to see how many people responded and what they do. But I also wanted to see if anyone was going to come back and say, well, I try to do all of these things so my mental health meter doesn't get low. So, because that's what I'm trying to preach.
Right. Don't
be proactive.
Yeah.
Don't allow, and some of the things you can't take a vacation every day, but you can create your own oasis at home. You can create, your own peace at home.
Yes.
So the point is, guys, is don't wait until don't put
depleted.
Yourself last. Yes. Don't wait until that's all you have to do is now I have to run to self-care because I haven't been practicing it regularly or daily. Now, I'm so low, my cup is so empty that I have to go and indulge, or I have to go, it's good if you do, but the habits, which one of the topics this year is going to be really on implementing these habits to practice self-care, which I feel like we already talk about a lot.
Right.
But just throwing that out there, it was very interesting to me. I think one person actually did come and just message me afterward, and she's like, yeah, I was like, I practice these things daily so that I don't get burnt out. And I'm like, that's actually the way to do it. It's the way to do it.
Yeah, but we're so used to just going until we're depleted.
Slow down your days,
down.
especially in the mornings. In the morning, slow down. But if you implement a good inspirational book, a good self-development book, personal, professional, whatever it is, on a daily basis, then, or if you get that alone time, I have an alarm on my phone that's set every other day at 10 a.m. And it's an alarm that just says, stop, breathe, and pray.
That's beautiful.
And that's it.
That's beautiful.
And it's only for like 30 seconds. I only need 30 seconds just to stop wherever I'm at whatever I'm doing. Take a breath
and whisper a prayer.
Yeah, and just I pray for something, or a sign of gratefulness, something just to stop me in my tracks at that moment, because I'm pretty sure I'm like running around everywhere. So, I can't tell you how many times that alarm has really helped me throughout the day.
Yeah, for sure.
To just chill out.
For sure. And another one I wanted to share too, and you kind of hit it a little bit with what you just shared, but reflect and grow. You want to use this experience as an opportunity for self-reflection and personal growth.
Yes.
So ask yourself, what can I learn from this situation? How can I emerge stronger and more resilient? And then take the dive and look further in that.
That was good.
Yeah.
Yes.
For sure.
So remember, you guys, healing from childhood hurt or any other relationship hurt, it's a journey. It's not a destination. Be patient with yourself.
It's continuous. Yeah.
Yes. And trust that brighter days are ahead.
Absolutely.
You have the strength and resilience to overcome this pain and emerge stronger than ever before. Yes. I wish you all of the healing, and we hope you guys have a blessed and prosperous week.
Yes.